Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? I need y'all to sit down, fasten your seatbelts, because this is going to be a very bumpy case. Imagine this. You are married to your wife for almost 10 years. You have 3 beautiful children, only to find out that one of the children isn't yours. You're heartbroken. You're devastated. You are shocked. Then you sit back and say, wait, are the other 2 children not mine either? Only to find out that all 3 of the children that you have been raising since birth for almost a decade aren't yours. Oh my gosh, how devastated could you be? And who on earth could these kids be for? The verdict will shock you. And what this man does next will blow your mind. Sit back and find out what happens in this case right now. Terrifying Tuesday, my Cajun cuties. Yes, it's me, Anne-Marie, aka the Cajun Crime Queen from Carrico, Louisiana. Cajun born, Cajun bred, and when I die, I'll be Cajun dead. I hope after this video that you like, subscribe, and comment, and don't forget to press notification bell so you never miss a video from me, Anne-Marie. And as always, thank you all for joining me on this terrifying Tuesday evening as we discuss another true crime case. How are y'all doing on this terrifying Tuesday evening? I hope y'all are all having a great week and a great evening so far. Thank y'all once again for joining me. And I hope all of you out there had a great Mother's Day. Mothers should be appreciated every single second of each day. We love being mothers, and being a mother is an incredible thing. So I just want to wish y'all once again a happy Mother's Day. I cannot believe it's almost time for summer. Before we know it, these kids are going to be out of school. Anyway, as a lot of you may know, I get a lot of DMs daily, especially on TikTok, asking me to cover different cases. And I try to cover all of your requests. And when I received this request, I had to sit back. I was shocked. I was like, what just happened? Because this case is crazy, yeah. Crazy. I was like, whoo, how did I not hear about this case? This is the first time I'm hearing about this, and this case is almost a year old. So I need y'all to get ready because this is going to be a very bumpy ride. 37-year-old Deshawn Flo was from Detroit, Michigan. He was married for almost 10 years to his wife, Sharnice Flood, and they had 3 beautiful children. Deshawn was known as a deacon or preacher around town. He was a great person. He loved his family. He loved his children. It seems like he was a stay-at-home dad. He did all the cooking. He did all the cleaning. He went on all the school trips, all while suffering from mental illness. Deshawn loved his family so very much. He did everything while his wife worked and went to school as well. When Deshawn was a child, he was diagnosed with meningitis. He suffered from seizures, and the doctors also told him due to the meningitis, there was a low chance that he would ever be able to have children. So when Deshawn had not 1, but 3 children, he thought of it as a blessing. He was so very excited that he could have 3 children. One day, Deshawn's son was sick, and he decided to take his son to the hospital. And while his son was in the hospital, whatever illness he had, I don't know what illness the little boy had, but whatever he had, they said that it was a gene passed down by the dad's side. And I'm guessing through tests or through DNA tests, whatever tests they ran, it was discovered that Deshawn's son wasn't his son. He's devastated. He's heartbroken. Could you only imagine? You have been raising this child since the day they were born. This is your son, the boy that's going to carry your name from generation to generation to generation, only to find out this isn't your son. He's shocked. He's devastated. He sits back and thinks to himself, what am I going to do? This isn't my child. This person that I love since the day my wife told me she was pregnant, this isn't my son. Deshawn stops and thinks to himself, I cannot believe that my wife cheated on me. He also says to himself, could the other 2 children not be mine either? Deshawn Flood decides he is going to do a DNA on his 2 other children, his 2 daughters. He says in the back of his mind, there's no way that these aren't my kids. There's no way that all three of my kids aren't mine. So Deshawn tests his two daughters only to find out that his two other children aren't his either. All three of his kids that he has been raising since the day they were born aren't his kids. He is going through a flood of emotions. He's upset, he's furious, he's angry, he's devastated. He is beyond emotional at this point. He doesn't know where to turn. Then you're dealing with all of that. Then you have to step back and say, wait, now I have to deal with betrayal as well, because his wife cheated on him not once, not twice, at least 3 times. So he's dealing with not being the father of his 3 children, and his wife cheated on him, betraying him, while he's supporting her at home while she works and goes to school. He's finding out the entire time that he's being cheated on. I couldn't even imagine that. You know how heartbreaking that sounds? Now he's wondering, who are these children for? Are they all from the same person? Does my wife have a whole other relationship I know nothing about? What's going on? Only to find out that his relatives are the children's father. Yes, y'all heard that right. Deshawn Flood's relatives are the children's father. I'm hearing all kind of stuff. I'm hearing his brother, his uncle, his cousins, just several members of the family. I don't know who the father is, but several outlets are saying it is his family members. So now he's dealing with, wait, my family betrayed me? My wife betrayed me? None of these children are mine? What am I going to do? I mean, that would make someone go completely insane, just fall right off the deep end. I know I would. I mean, I'm the most calm, I am so calm. But I think even that would make me just dive straight into a rage. And that is exactly what Deshawn Flood did. Deshawn Flood decided to check himself into a mental facility. However, he was recommended to a better facility in Chicago, so he left. Now, I don't know if he left on his own. I don't know if they told him to go straight to this facility. But don't y'all think if you checked into a mental facility and they recommend a better place, that they would themselves take you to the place, make sure that you have a ride, make sure nothing goes wrong, make sure that you are going to this place in Chicago. Maybe that happened, I don't know. But just 11 days after Deshawn Flood left the facility on July 29th, 2025, he decided to drive to Sterling Heights to where his wife worked. He waited for his wife. And when he saw his wife, he approached his wife and reached into his waistband and started firing at her. His wife ran to get cover in a co-worker's vehicle. However, before she can close the door, Deshawn Flood shot at her several times. She, along with the co-worker, escaped through the driver's side door and started running towards the building. And that is when Deshawn caught up to his wife and pistol whipped her several times in the head. The co-workers called the police. The police arrived. They took Deshawn Flood into custody and they rushed his wife to the hospital. The co-worker wasn't injured. The wife did in fact survive all of her injuries and is still alive to this day. Thank you, God, for not letting her pass away, because there are 3 kids involved here. However, Deshawn Flood did in fact get arrested. On Thursday, July 31st, 2025, Deshawn Flood was charged with 2 counts of assault with intent to murder, a life or any term of years felony, 1 count of weapon firearms possession by a prohibited person, 5-year felony, 3 counts of weapons felony firearm, 2 years consecutive on each count. He could face up to several years in prison. As I dug into this case, there are several different opinions. I was reading all the comments. I was watching all the videos on YouTube and TikTok. And y'all, 90% of the people are on Deshawn Flood's side. They are all saying, of course he went into this rage. Of course this happened. He was angry. Everyone betrayed him. He felt so betrayed in his life. His wife, his family members, finding out all three kids aren't his. He went into a pure rage. That's why I want to know y'all comments below. What do y'all think about this? Do y'all think that this was justifiable? Because if you want my personal opinion, I don't think you should take anyone's life. I don't. I don't think that no one in this world has the right to end someone else's life. We do not decide that. That is not for us to decide. But Deshawn Flood was extremely upset. I couldn't even imagine what he was going through. It sounded like he was just backed into a corner and didn't know what else to do. So he thought, I'm just going to get revenge, and I'm going to go to my wife's work, and I'm going to try to end her life. I don't know why he thought that was a good thing to do, but seems like he wasn't in his right mind. And the only thing he could think of at that time was to seek revenge, which he shouldn't have done. So you have people saying, oh, this was justifiable. I would have done the same thing. And then you have people saying, no, this wasn't right. He should have just walked away and figured things out. No matter what, these are still his three kids. He should just divorce his wife and move on and raise the three kids. But that's not the road he took. He didn't want to take that road. He wanted right then and there to get revenge. And my heart goes out to him because no telling what kind of emotions he was feeling. But my heart also goes out to his wife who had to deal with that. Do you know how scary that is? To have someone running after you with a firearm, just firing this firearm, and then once they catch up to you, they pistol whip you on the head several times. I couldn't even begin to imagine what she went through that day. However, Deshawn Flood will, I can't guarantee it, but I'm pretty sure he will serve some jail time for this because this was definitely a huge crime that Deshawn Flood committed. My final thought, I always give y'all my final thought. And my final thought is, you do not play with people's feelings. You don't. I don't care what y'all think. I don't care what y'all say. You do not do that to a person. You do not have them think that they are the father of the child for almost a decade. And then they have to find out this way. It's not like you pulled them aside one day and say, hey, I got something to tell you. You're not the father of any of these children. No, he had to find it out through a hospital just by chance. You know how devastating that is? So you can't play around with people because you don't know what people are thinking, their mental state at the time. And from what I read, Deshawn did suffer from mental illness. So he was already having trouble at the time, I'm sure. And then he finds all of this out. So that just sent him over the cliff. And my heart goes out to the entire family, even the children. Everyone is having to deal with this right now. And this man may spend the rest of his life in prison. I don't know what's going to happen to him, but you have to be careful when you play with people's feelings because you don't know what they could do. You don't know what they're capable of. How many times do I cover cases where the person ends up taking someone's life that they loved 10 years ago because they just still not over it? You just don't know what they're going through at the time, so you have to be very careful, and you just don't do that. Don't betray your spouse. Don't betray your children, and don't betray your family. Just don't betray anyone. Just always, always, always try to do good. But in this case, Deshawn Flood just wanted revenge at the time, and now he's going to have to suffer the consequences. My thoughts and my prayers go out to the entire family, Deshawn, the wife, the children, and everyone else who was dealing with this at the time. Y'all are in my prayers every day. I hope after this video that you like, subscribe, and comment. And don't forget to press notification button so you never miss a video from me, Anne-Marie. And as always, stay safe. Always be aware of your surroundings and always know that I'm here for each and every one of you. Thank y'all once again for joining me tonight. And for you, I am truly grateful. I will see y'all tomorrow night with more Cajun Crime Queen videos. Thank y'all once again for joining me. I love each and every one of y'all. And I will see y'all later. Y'all have a good night. Bye.